Oh, there we are, folks. This is Mike from, guess where? Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement here on what has been a very nice weather-wise Friday here in Sharpsburg, Georgia. That's one of my refrigerator magnets. If you decide you would want one, hey, just send me a PM. They're absolutely free if you want one or two or a couple. Just send me a PM or say something in the comments down below and I'll drop one in the mail to you. I've mailed them far away. I had a guy in Ohio, I think it was, the other day asked for one, so I mailed him one. No catch, no nothing. They're just free. Yep, here we go. Somebody had sent me a message earlier saying, hey, we haven't heard from you. What you've been up to? Yeah, there's some of just my regular business cards. Well, I thought I might show you right quick. Oh, yep, there we are on Mike's laptop again. I decided today to attack my headlights on my 98 Mustang because the driver's side one had some pretty bad scratching on it. The passenger side one was not bad at all. It just had some very light scratching on it. So previously what I had done, without doing any prep or anything, I did it on purpose. I had just, when I was putting the clear coat restore on the paint, I just rubbed some on there right quick. I knew it would mess up because I wasn't prepping properly, but I wanted it to mess up. So it did. And not only today did I have to get that optimum clear coat off, I had to sand down through the factory clear coat that's on these headlights and get down to the bare plastic. Oh boy, I did not need to sand this one because it wasn't that bad and I wasn't chasing perfection. These headlights were on there. They're aftermarket. Several years ago when I bought the car. I don't like them. I do plan on going back to OEM headlights as soon as I can. I just don't like those. Just don't like them. Can't see squat driving with them at night. They just ain't worth a fiddly fart. But that's a story for another day. As you can see, when you're doing all this wet sanding with your buffers and stuff, you're going to make a heck of a mess. And I was going to be doing clear coat, so I didn't want overspray. So I wasn't sure when I started if I was going to do that one or not. Ended up I did not. So I went ahead and, covered everything up, taped off and all that kind of good stuff. And that's what it looked like to start with. I'll flip along here a little bit. Oh, yeah, that's just that where I taped that side off, passenger side. And that's where I taped off the driver's side. It doesn't really look too bad in this photograph. I hadn't even started on it yet, but if you look closely, you can see there are some scratching and discoloration in this area primarily, and it was worse than it looked in this photograph. I'm not a very good photographer or a very good videographer for that matter. Oh boy, and this is after I got started. And I started off, I think it was with 600, 800 grit sandpaper. And as you can see, that's what you're after, is that uniform haze over the headlight. And you have to keep wetting it afterward and wiping it off and make sure you get all the clear coat off and you're down to the bare plastic. And I think I succeeded in that in this photograph. Then you're like, uh-oh. No, it's all right, folks. It's all right. It's all part of headlight restoration. I was using the Trizact 3M Trizact 3-inch sanding discs on my buffer, which is another reason I did the plastic. You'll see in a minute. And this is after I had gone back and I used, I think it was 2500 after I did the 800, and this is what I came up with. And after that, 3000 grit You know, it turned out not looking too bad at that point. Not really. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Oh boy, oh boy. This is just a look at the mess I made. That's all right. That'll be an easy cleanup tomorrow after everything I've done finishes curing. This is just holy moly. Let me see if I can flip that around where y'all can read that. Okay. This is the clear coat that I'm going to use or did use on these headlights. Very, very good quality. 2K Eastwood clear coat. It is a true clear coat. That little red button there, it's attached to the top of the cap. You have to take that off. You put it on the bottom and you push it in when you're ready to use this stuff. And it puts the activator in there. And it's a little bit pricey. I think this can's about 25 bucks. And once you activate it, you only got 48 hours to use it, so you might want to have a couple projects lined up. But it is as close to what a body shop puts out in their spray guns as possible in an aerosol can. You know, I don't like fooling with spray guns and cleaning them out and all that kind of stuff. Not very good at it, having to mix all that stuff up. For these little home projects, folks, you can't beat this. The stuff you buy at the local retail stores and even the auto parts stores are not true 2K clear coat. Google it, folks, look it up. This is the stuff you want to use. The other crap you buy at the retail level, it don't work near as well as this stuff, and it will not last. This stuff will last for years to come. Oh boy. But anyway, and I also painted some motorcycle parts, clear coated them that I had done previously. Did those today. But hey, this is what that driver's side headlight looked like after I put the clear coat on there and obviously took all the tape and the plastic off. And it's sitting outside curing right now. And tomorrow, after it cures well, I'll go back and clean all this mess up. And if I did get any overspray, it's easy task to get it off. I'll clean all that crap off the hood. It'll be okay overnight. Oh boy, what an adventure. And that's just the passenger side, folks. Like I say, I ended up not wet sanding that or anything. All I did to that was give it a quick compound with my rotary buffer and a wool pad, and then I did a polish on it, and I'll go back tomorrow and I won't clear coat. You can't clear coat over top of clear coat very well. And I'll just put either a ceramic coating on it or a titanium coating, something like that, and it'll last it'll last for several years. And you know, let me go back just a second. You know, after I did all that wet sanding on this one, I took the wool pad and my rotary buffer, I compounded it, and I'll show you that stuff in a minute. And after that, of course, I wiped it all down, paint prepped it, blah blah blah, and then I did a final polish on it with a black Lake Country polish, final polishing pad, and used some different, a final polish on it. And then I paint prepped the heck out of it before I put the clear coat on there. It is of paramount importance, folks, that when you're going to do this, that you follow the proper prep steps in doing so, or it will not turn out well. I don't even think I've got any orange peel in that clear coat. Oh, there we go. I think, what does it look like in real time, you say? Well, heck, let's walk out there and take a look, and I'll show you those motorcycle parts. I had painted those a couple months ago with just some stuff from O'Reilly's, because they came off my motorcycle, and they're parts that don't really show much. I think that's a chain guard over there, and those go up towards the front of the motorcycle, and they weren't painted very well. They were kind of crappy looking, and I decided, I don't like that. So I took everything apart, and like I said, a couple of months ago I painted them. I used that same clear coat that I used on the headlights, and I clear coated them earlier today. They've had a couple of coats on there. Yeah, you know, they're not perfect, but this is really cheap. It's very durable material, but it's not really made to accept paint. So, and I probably should have primered them first, but I was like, ah, heck, they don't really show that much. Sometimes, folks, you got to be realistic, not chase perfection. There's some of the stuff I used today. My final black Lake Country pad, my buffer. That's just a little bottle of distilled water in the 360 immersion bottle I use sometime if my product starts to dry up a little bit. It just needs to be wet. Oh, yeah, there's some of my other stuff. There's my Optimum paint prep. That's the hybrid wool pad I use. That's 3000 grit sandpaper that goes on my buffer. Oh boy. That's the Sonex Cut Max compound. That's the Sonex Perfect finishing polish. There's some more sandpapers and my spray bottle, all that stuff. But yeah, you can see right where I made a big mess here today. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But it'll clean up rather easily tomorrow. And you know, that clear coat's not, it's probably relatively dry by now because it's been on about maybe an hour or so. But folks, restoring headlights, it just don't get much better than that. That was the driver's side. That's the one I wet sanded, compounded, polished, paint prepped, blah 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 blah, and then I put, I think, 2 coats of clear coat on there. And this one over here looks okay, but it was good enough where I didn't want to chase myself down that rabbit hole, as they say. I was like, this one is good enough without wet sanding and all that. So I just did a quick polish on it with my rotary, paint prepped it, and like, there's no protection on it right now other than the little that the Sonex leaves behind. But I will come back tomorrow and I'll paint prep it and put a ceramic coating or a titanium coating, something like that on there to protect it, because if you don't, it'll turn back in just a matter of months. But this headlight restoration will last for years and years. But the titanium coating I've got on this car, folks, it'll make cleanup simple. Maybe I'll show y'all that tomorrow. I don't know, some of you might be interested, some of you might not, but this titanium coating will just push all that stuff right off of there. Just a little bit of water probably will do it. Probably won't even need any soap. I'll probably just use some O&R mainly for lubrication purposes, so I don't scratch the paint or minimize scratching it. But that was it today, folks. Hey, you know what? If your headlights have gone bad, you know, shoot me a message, PM me, text me, and your headlights too can look like this. It ain't cheap, but in most instances, it's way cheaper than new headlights. Some instances, not. You know, and there's a couple different methods for doing this. I've seen guys on the internet show you, oh, you can restore your headlights in 30 minutes. Well, yeah, you can, and it'll last a couple of months, if not less. There are really no shortcuts to doing this, where these restorations on these headlights will last for years as opposed to months. So if you want to know the quickie method, heck, I'll explain how to do that to you, and you can give it a shot. Oh, there's bukus of YouTube videos out there on how to do that. There's a few on doing it this way. In fact, I could have used the Optimum clear coat on here if I so chose. And, you know, if I had not happened to have a can of the 2K clear coat, I might have done that. But this stuff cures a little quicker, a lot quicker than the Optimum does, because it's not really designed for that. It's designed for that. But hey, why not? All right, I thank everybody, you know, Like I said, give me a PM, you know, send me a text. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. It doesn't really matter. They say that helps my algorithm because somebody has engaged with my video. Comment and tell me where you're watching from. I'm always curious about that. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Now I've got to figure out a way to get this thing in the garage before the dew hits. Bye-bye now.